Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for some more of the Toulouse Sevens. This game, France, the home side, taking on South Africa. Looking through at the starting lineups for France, it will be Lagel, Jordan Sefo, Rebage, Steven Perez, Paulin Riva, Pesquet, and also Theo Fournier, the last man in the starting side. Then for South Africa, Savile Suyas Wapi, Impi Visa, Christy Hrobala, the World Human, and Lovu, Ronald Brown, and Sean Williams. So two very strong sides in a very tough group. Of course, alongside these two teams, there is also France and there is also the USA. It is definitely the toughest group out of all of the Toulouse Sevens, which means every game is crucial. And that is why this game is so important. You want to make sure that you're starting well, getting yourself your first victory. Now, both of these sides will be playing later on in the morning New Zealand times, currently 12:37 a.m. Next game for South Africa is at around that 7 a.m. mark, and that will be up against the Flying Fijians. But out of the key players in this match, Sean Williams' pace is definitely going to come in handy for the South Africans. Jordan Sefo for France with that nice bit of size out on the wing, I think could become a real menace to the opposition. But one thing's for sure, these two sides, they certainly know how to score tries. They've got potential of having a close game here. They'll both be hoping to be on their A games, but both sides just about to make their way out, and there will be a big round of applause, first of all, for Savile Suyas Wapi, making his way out onto the field by himself for this one, but then that French home side will get quite the ovation when they make their way onto the field. Now, they are talking about Savile Suyas Wapi, one try away from a massive milestone. The French side, they have got huge celebrations coming from the stands. Now, that is one thing that France are yet to do, and that is win that final, win the gold medal. They'll be looking for it today. There's a chance that if they get 2 wins here, they might have a decent crack of going far in this competition. But first, they have to get past the South African outfit, the Blitzboks. Are known for winning quite a few competitions in the past. They managed to win themselves the Rugby Sevens World Cup in Cape Town. Now, Steven Perez about to get us underway for the French. They are going from left to right in this contest. I should mention we are covering that game between the USA and Fiji that has taken place just around the corner. Hello, Hamish. I hope the Blitzboks make the final. It's a big ask, but they need to, says Andre there. Yeah, that's the thing. If they get through France in this game, they're certainly a lot closer to getting there. But losing this game to France, you just end up playing catch up. And in a group with USA and Fiji alongside those two sides, it gets very tricky, but it's nicely taken by the World Human to start us off. He is tackled by Paulin Riva. Bit of a headbutt with Christy Hrobala in the breakdown. Now passed across Sean Williams. Mentioned about his pace before the matchup. He is dragged down by Jordan Sefo for France. Now Savile Suyas Wapi going off to the right-hand side. The World Human, nice stepping. Dragged down. Now a bit of a counter ruck there. Doesn't quite work out for the French. Now back into the pocket. It'll be Uman with the ball again. Goes off to Sean Williams. Now out wide. Savile Suyas Wapi, not a huge amount of space. In fact, it's Lovu who's on that near side. Now back across. And Bivisa. Savile Suyas Wapi tackle. A lot of pressure there on the breakdown, but the penalty goes against the French. Taking the quick tap there, Ronald Brown off to the right-hand side. Savile Suyas Wapi. Missed tackle from Steven Perez, which puts pressure on the rest of the French side. Sefu makes the tackle. 40 metres out now, the Blitzboks. Christy Hrobala. In fact, it's Impi Visa. I keep on confusing those two. I know that both of them have had a patch where they've been wearing headgear recently. That one is going into touch, though. Bit of a handling error out wide from Lovu. And now France will have themselves the line out. A fast tempo set by both of these two sides off the get-go. 5.5 minutes remaining in the half. Lovu certainly got plenty of pace. That is one thing South Africa aren't lacking throughout their side, whether that is in the form of Savile Suyas Wapi, Sean Williams, Ronald Brown, and Lovu. They've got all the pace in the world. But it's just whether or not they can put it together. And Pesquet, that is a missed tackle on him. Finds the offload on the inside to Paulin Riva, who gives it out wide. Now it's going to be a bit of a foot race for the corner. Fournier does get in for the first try of the match, and France will get themselves first of possibly many in the Toulouse Sevens, but in front of a home crowd that has certainly woken up this Toulouse quite packed house at the moment. Although they want to have a look at it just in case he did end up going into touch here. Just getting the replay. Completely fine, and he will be able to award the try there, the referee, and that will now make the score 5-0. Kick to come to make it 7. Well, it's quite a tricky kick, right near the touchline there, but not the start to the match that the Blitzboks would have been after. Steven Perez ready to take this kick right from the touchline here. Probably one of the harder kicks that Steven Perez will have to take throughout the whole day, and it is the very first kick that he has got. Does just have the distance accuracy a little bit off, though, off to the left-hand side, and that will now make the score remain at 5-0. But great try for Fournier. Was ready for it out on the wing. It was just a nice set play from the French to be able to consistently find that next pass, but it was all from that missed tackle of the Blitzboks that then led to it. And you go Blitzboks Province and the Stormers, says Dion. And of course, the Stormers, they are going to be playing in the match tomorrow up against Connacht. I'm sure you're excited for that one, Dion. And in South Africa as well. Could be a South African home final if Munster can pull off a big upset and beat Leinster. Now Ronald Brown goes off to the right-hand side. Saviwe Soizwapi goes to Impi Visa. Tries to step ball on the inside to Saviwe Soizwapi again. Bit of a counter-ruck there from the Gel for the French. Steven Perez looking for the ball. He's managed to get it, and now Pauline Reva with the pass across. Now, not the best pass we've ever seen from, I believe, the one that started, that was Jordan Sifo. It wasn't the quickest move. Oh. There's a yellow card now for Ronald Brown. Playing the ball on the ground, I believe, is the call there. So South Africa, they will now be playing with 6 men on the field. Oh. Steven Perez decision to make. Where to go? They go off to the right. Get about that quick step and doing nicely there, Pasquet. Oh, stolen in the breakdown brilliantly by MP Visa. Now Christy Robla backs his pace, trying to get around the outside, but he's taken down in a good tackle by Pasquet. That time, Legel jumping over the middle of the breakdown. MP Visa now goes out wide. Lovu, not a lot of space. I think that foot was on the touchline, but there's no touch judge in sight. They were off to the side, so I don't believe they saw it. Now Ronald Brown gives it off to DeWald Human, or sorry, actually not Ronald Brown. Should say that. It is instead Grant Williams. That's a lie. It is Sean Williams getting there in the end. It is late at night. I guess the brain's taking a little bit longer to kick in. Good to see Plumtree going back to the Shark Tank. Says Andre there. Yeah, I've heard good things about that change. A lot of people are happy about it. So hopefully it does replicate in the way that they're able to play. But that is going to be a loose ball. And Jordan Sefo just runs in the try for the French. Yes, I will be on the stadium tomorrow for the Stormers game. So hopefully you do enjoy the game from live. Enjoy the atmosphere. Because at the end of the day, if the Stormers win, but Leinster do end up losing, Leinster do end up winning, the final will be in the Northern Hemisphere. So make sure you really enjoy that semi-final if the Stormers are victorious, just in case it's not going to be where the final is. That's the recommendation, I'd say. Just enjoy every moment. Live sport, gotta love it. Jordan Sefo scores the try, though, for France, and they are now sitting 12-0 up over the Blitzboks. This is not the result that the South Africans were after, that is for sure. And it doesn't help their points differential either, because now as they sit, it's going to be tricky to come back into this contest. But, of course, nothing's impossible in sevens. All it takes is a little run of good form. They are just showing that South Africa overall in the standings is 7th. Samoa sitting just ahead of them on 111 points compared to the 106. Now taken back by France yet again. Another attacking opportunity. Pasquet getting swarmed by the Blitzboks. Rubala Soizwapi and also Ronald Brown, I almost said, but he's still not on the field. Sean Williams getting in there. And also we have got there, ref must make up early, or make up really, says Janlu. And Blitzboks not doing too good, hey? But I think they got this, says Andre. The second half is going to be very detrimental to the way that the South Africans go. Like, at this stage, they haven't really found their first gear, which is a concern because I think France are almost running in about 3rd or 4th at the moment. South Africa, they will be back to the full strength 7 on the field. Now, off their bench, they've got some very good players. Ryan Osterhuizen, James Murphy, Also, Shilton van Wyk, Ricardo James Duarte. It was a little bit surprising to see that they didn't start him for this contest. The ball's fed in by Ronald Brown. It's going to be the penalty. Steven Perez playing the man. Ronald Brown now does have a bit of a pierce through the gap. Iragua tries to drag him down, but Perez is the man who in the end does get him, gets on him, and does a bit of a headstand in the process. Again, in the turnover, brilliantly done by the French number 5. Right, they've got the option of just tapping this and kicking it into touch, and I think that is what he is asking the referee. Do they just kick this out and take half time, or do they continue to attack? One last chance in the first half. Right, that is going to be a half time, ladies and gentlemen. 12-0 in favour of the home side, Les Bleus. Now, all they need to do is do it for another 7 minutes, and they are walking away with their first win in this Toulouse Sevens, whereas the South Africans, they need to make sure that they play a lot better than they did in that first half. There is certainly improvements that can be made. Tries 0. Visits to opposition 22, 0. Errors 1 for the South Africans. They made 4 offloads and 25 passes, but they did not get themselves over the try line. I'm interested to see the tackle stat here. And Dion, you must be thinking about me. Right, everything goes well for our team, says at the net. Yeah, missed tackle so far from France. They've missed 4. South Africa have actually only made 1 tackle. They've missed 1 in the process as well. I think Grant Williams, the Sharks will do well in the 7, says Andre. Yeah, I almost keep on saying his name, but he actually wouldn't be a bad fit for this Blitzboks Sevens side. And there's probably a few other players who I think wouldn't actually go too bad for the Blitzboks. I mean, one of those young guys like Kurt Leorinsa or maybe Apalele Fassi, I feel like he could be quite a good Sevens player if he wanted to. Plenty of French flags in the crowd. Someone with a bird on the head. I think it's supposed to be a chicken, but it's blue. Someone got the food colouring out. Or the chicken dye, if that's a thing. Now the second half, just about to get underway. It will be South Africa kicking this one off to France. This one will be very important. Possession and retaining it. They need, but 12 minutes away from Fiji versus the USA. That will be a fantastic game of Rugby Sevens. We are covering that one on the channel as well. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Yeah, a lot of support for the French, which is always expected. I haven't seen too many Fijian supporters, but that might just be because the Fijian game has not quite been yet. Stands filling up quite nicely. I agree Hamish Fassi will do well in Sevens, says Andre. Yeah, I feel like he's just got that good build for it. Like, he kind of reminds me, if we're looking at the current side, I would say someone like a Christy Horobola or Impi Visa, just that little bit bigger, but still got quite a bit of strength to him. Oh, Christy Horobola, unfortunately, couldn't get out of that breakdown in time. Iragua went off to Steven Perez now. Pasquet passes on the outside. Quick hands out to Jordan Sefo now. Nice step. Moves to 40 meters out from the Blitzboks lines. Pasquet goes back across to Perez again. Iragua thinks about the pass on the outside, and he does find Rabash. Inside ball to Iragua, and he's got plenty of pace. Ronald Brown right behind him, but he won't stop Iragua. And that is the 3rd try now of the match for France. They are on fire at the moment in front of their home crowd. And this is not what the Blitzboks need. I mentioned about that points differential. Of course, sometimes it seems to come into play for the 7 circuit, other times it doesn't. But now for South Africa, for them to have a chance of going through to the next stage, they pretty much need to win their game up against Fiji, which is taking place in about 6 hours' time. And then after that, they do have to win their game up against the USA, which will be taking place tomorrow. But we are covering that one on the channel as well. It's another big crowd tomorrow. That will help us win in the game, says Dion. That kick is successful. Now, just like that, notifications going off flat out. That is the URC. I believe that is the 2 lineups for the Stormers versus Connacht game, and also Munster versus Leinster. The Irish derby just around the corner. Going to be kicked up high. Just traveling the 10 meters now. 5 minutes remaining in the second half, so not a lot of time left for them to fire back. Steven Perez, nice inside ball. Another offload. Just so crisp from the French at the moment in front of their home side. Now Iragua goes off to Fournier. Already scored 1 try. Another flick out the back. Jordan Sefo for the corner. This French side are tearing the Blitzboks to shreds at the moment. It's not what you expect to see. I mentioned I thought this game might be close, but it would seem that only one side has shown up for France's leg of the sevens. It ain't the Blitzboks. I hope that they do improve in the next two games. Normally a very clinical side, pretty handy with the ball in hand, but this game has been anything but what the Springboks Sevens side would have been after. That's brilliant for France. They're going to have a huge points differential heading into their next two games. The next match will be up against the USA, but that is where they can't throw it away. Because if the USA end up beating France, then that is quite the mistake. Jordan Sefo has been a try-scoring machine, already scored 2 throughout this matchup alongside Fournier. Was able to get himself 1 as well. Now, Steven Perez. It's the ball high. That one drifts into touch there. They will be going back to where it was kicked from. Out on the full from Steven Perez. Now, if you are South Africa, you just got to try and take this as quickly as you can. I'm looking through Gerdald. He did come off the bench. Ricardo James Duarte, a man who I thought should have been starting this match. They have now brought off the bench as well. Now, Ryan Oosterhuizen goes out wide. Here comes Christy Rubela, who has deceptive pace when he gets going. Looks for the offload on the outside, but Gerdald just wasn't quite ready for it there. Ryan Oosterhuizen does clean up nicely. Now Hulman with the wide sling and pass. Ricardo James Duarte knocks the ball on Irigua, swats it back. Now to Rebash. Taken down to on his knees. Tackle release. Now Irigua going around the side. Steven Perez, the ball is loose. It's another knock on from the French again. Right, time off. 2 minutes 50 remaining now. And Blitzboks are lost with Powell gone. There's Barry. Because he's leaving the Sharks, isn't he? Isn't he? I think Neil Powell. Which will be interesting because is there any chance that he'd go back to Sevens? I think he's going back to like a director of rugby role, though, if I'm not wrong. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see how the Blitzboks find their next wave of momentum because we've got to remember the Olympics just around the corner. South Africa, they will certainly be keen to go all right in that. Alongside that, you've also got, geez, that's a big shot on Grandidier. Yeah, you've also got, the Seven Series in general. And at the moment, they have to play qualifying games just to get to that Olympics. Now the ball is loose. James Murphy drives over, scores the try, Barry. That is true. Says Dion there. That'll be the first try of the match for South Africa. They kick it straight over. They have got 2 minutes to score 3 tries. And it still looks like they want to try and do it. Or at least try and get 1 or 2 more so that they cut down on that points differential. That would be a pretty handy one for them. Right. Wald Uman. Okay, the time is off. He's disappointed. But there is going to be a sub being made. A lot of screaming going on at the ground. Is there a roller coaster there, or are there just some very excited French supporters? Okay. Time is back on, and they are ready to go. French player just slowly walking his way off the field. The ball to Human. Kicks it high. Just gets at that 10 meters, but it's going to be put down by Legel. Ball bounces out the side. And it's picked up nicely by France. Have ended up in position again. Legel tries the, that's a shot in the air. It's allowed in this game. I should mention that in sevens, you're actually allowed to take them in the air. And also, well, what a scoreline. Unless, of course, it's off a kickoff. Then you're not allowed to touch them. And he's going to coach Shark's second team. So here's Barry there. Now it's going to be kicked into touch again. That is going to be, who was that? That was Mazzolini. The ball there. I should mention the next game between USA and the Fijians very soon. That was cryptic, the way that I said that. I think my brain's starting to shut down. It is currently 1 a.m. here in New Zealand. We've been up quite a bit. We've already done 2 games of union and also a sevens match up, which is quite light for a day on the channel, but we've got plenty more coming tomorrow. We've got Super Rugby, we've got URC semi-finals, we've got more of the Sevens. Impivisa driven backwards towards his line, but the penalty does go the way of the Blitzboks. We look to pick this ball up quickly. Ricardo James Duarte takes it quickly, goes off now to James Murphy. Ball bounces out the side, bounces back up nicely, and now Timo finds the offload to Irigua, and that will be another try for the French. The big dive from Irigua. That is going to be another French try to close out this game. That makes the score 29 points to 7 with the 2-point kick to come. Which means it will be 31 to 7 at the end of this contest. A performance and a half from France. We have to wait and see exactly how South Africa do go in their next matchup. But it is going to be an important one, that is for sure. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We are going over to that USA versus Fiji live stream, so be sure to tune in for that one. I will see you all for the next.